August 8th, 2023. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. What are we going to talk about? Dating. Okay. And I got a couple videos on YouTube that I want you guys, channels that I want to recommend. Now, I'm not affiliated with these other two YouTube channels, but I do watch one of them. One of them's called, it's produced by a Sarah Dawn Moore, but it's called 5 Reasons Why Men Are Going Their Own Way. Now, she just did this about a day ago. Check this out. 5 Reasons Why Men Are Going Their Own Way. And like I said, her name's Sarah Dawn Moore. And I think she's a lawyer. And I think she's got into doing like these videos. And she talks about men and women and dating. Really cool stuff. And she just lays on the line how it is. I like it. But what caught my ear on this was she's talking about several things that if you get into a relationship, what you should do now, which I found interesting because way back when I got married, I talked basically to my ex and just told her that, where I stood money-wise. That time period, this was a long time back, guys, so I was making about $10 an hour. Now, she was a legal secretary. I didn't even know what a legal secretary was. I wasn't really concerned about it. But she was making about $42,000 to $45,000 a year. She was making good money, pretty good big money. And I worked at warehouses. I worked on automotive and stuff like that. I worked by 40 hours a week every week and stuff. But I only made about $10 an hour at the top places that I worked at. I did a hazmat, shipping and receiving. I was only making $10 an hour. Last year I worked at Worlds of Fun. I was just out there mowing. I was making $16 an hour. What a joke. Now you can, at any just basic job, you can make about $16 an hour. That's about the going rate, anymore. But anyway, getting on with this, she was talking about, you should look at it almost like two businesses drawing up a contract, and then if things don't work out, how you're going to split it. And I think that's a good way to think in a sense. Now, I'm the kind of person that I just pretty much lay it on the line and tell it how it is. And I could never understand women and men that got together, whether they were dating or whether they were married, if they broke up, why they can't just come to one another and say, hey, I want to break up or I want a divorce. Why it's got to be so nasty. And that's what I don't get. She was saying that 80% today, 80% are women that file for divorce now. That's very high, guys. Very high. And I think a lot of them need to look back at, you have to look at the traditional values. I think so much of that's been lost. And in the second YouTube channel, that's what I'm going to talk about here in a minute. There's a guy that was checked out this. I don't know if you knew the guy. He was up in the Appalachian Mountains, and this is called The Man with No Legal Identity, off grid in Appalachia. The gentleman's YouTube channel is by Peter Santello. I believe that's how you pronounce Peter Santello. But he goes and talks to this guy, and why come across this? Because in the future here, like I say, we probably won't have no power because of the micronova. And this guy's living off grid like back in the early 1800s, and he's doing it all alone by himself. He's got about 40 acres of land, and he does all the farming, does all his cooking and cleaning and everything. He has no electricity. The only thing is he shares a landline with, I don't know if they said it was a Mennonite or one of the other bunches there, but if you get a chance, check that one out. Now, I'm not affiliated with either of these YouTube channels, okay? But why I bring this into play too, now this guy, he shows some great stuff. It shows him, you know, getting potatoes out of the ground, farming a little bit. Shows him taking care of the horses. They talk about seeds and planting, and how some, like I think Monsanto, when they were talking about the seeds, how they make the seeds now, if you plant them, they're only good for 1 year, and then they die out and they won't come back. And he was showing like the seeds that they plant, I mean, are like the old time seeds and stuff. And they, like I say, get a chance to check this out. But so the only thing he was lacking was a lady. And finding somebody that had the same kind of goals, what he's looking for. And then he also talks about, like I said, I don't get into much of all the different religions and stuff. We talk about theology and stuff when I talk about metaphysics and other different things. But I thought this was interesting because, you know, he's looking for somebody that, you know, believes in his kind of views and stuff about religion and stuff, but still can get along with people that might not have that view too. And the guy that interviewed him, that's what they talked about too. And really interesting. And I found it interesting just watching, like I said, it was about the first 15 or 20 minutes of this, because I don't know that much about horses. Now, I've never really got to ride on a horse before. I've ridden when I was a little kid at like a carnival, but that's about it. And I was watching this horse come up to him, and I didn't realize that they're a lot like dogs. They're probably smarter than dogs, it look like to me. But if you get a chance, check that video out. And why I brought this up was, like you say, he was looking for a lady, and somebody with the same kind of, probably on the path that he's looking for, you know, which I thought was great. And then getting back to, like I say, this 5 reasons why men are going their own way, that Sarah Dawn Moore, she had some other things to say too that I found very interesting about dating, guys. And she says that, you know, if a guy's going to go out on a date, they should never go out to a place to eat. Basically, you should wait 2 or 3 times and go out to maybe go for coffee, maybe go for a drink, to talk, but not to where it's going to, you know. Now, she does say that the guy should pay, you know, for the first, you know, pay for the drinks or whatever, which ain't no big deal, no problem. But to wait at least 3 times before you go out to eat, to see if this lady just after looking for money and a free meal or whatever. And like I say, I like her. She reminds me so much of some of the other channels that are even in my metaphysics deals, like E-Arts and God, I can't think of the other ones right now. But anyway, shoots the straight stuff. Like that Mark Bajerski in Spain and stuff. They just tell it how it is. And this lady's talking about how men, you know, in a way kind of get the dirty end of the deal and stuff, which a lot of them do. But I thought this was interesting, very interesting. But she also goes into about how family values have been lost. And that's what I kind of thought would tie into this on the man with the identity off the grid in the Appalachian Mountains. Because he's looking for somebody that, you know, is religious, believes in God, and certain things, something to keep them going. And he also talks about what keeps him going. Now, I really thought this was interesting too, because it's like no matter what you do, the way I was raised, you try to tell the truth all the time. You do tell the truth most of the time. And you, you know, always try to, any kind of job you do a good job. You try to give 100%. And this guy, he talks about how him being off grid and him doing the work that he does, even though it might take longer and everything else, he gets the satisfaction of being where he wants to be and doing what he wants to do. I think E.E. Arts would probably get a kick out of looking at this one. Like I said, the man with no legal identity off grid in Appalachia. And this guy, I mean, this guy here, this Peter Santello that interviewed him, consider, you know, he said he's yeah, this guy is a genius because he could make it tomorrow if all the power went off. I mean, it shows him basically from, you know, cleaning stuff in the creek to food to keeping food cold in the creek to everything else. We've lost all that, guys. We've lost that knowledge. And certain people that have that is very valuable to have down the line. So, wanted to get that out there. I just thought that was something. And like I say, this Sarah Dawn Moore, check hers out too. 5 Reasons Why Men Are Going Their Own Way. And we need about 100,000 more Sarah Dawn Moores. Can we clone about 100,000, guys? Anyway, just a short little video, guys. And I'm still looking to get out and date. I'm not a rich person. I do own my own house, and it's paid for. I'm not living with 8 guys in one house or 11 different people in another. Just me and my son. So, not a bad thing. And I'll put my email out there one more time. Eyes open, 3 a.m. at gmail.com. Eyes open, 3 a.m. at gmail.com. And if you want to text me, it's 816-876-7177. And hold on one more minute, guys. Give you room for thought. This is my kitchen. And see, there's not plates, there's not things stacked a mile high. That's why I keep my stuff. Now, I'm not a neat freak or anything, but I like to at least try to get my dishes done every night. My ex, she had let the dishes pile a mile high. And when I met her, she had like 30 pizza boxes all over her apartment. I don't know how people can live that way, guys. Anyway, eyes open and have a good one.